Hi there, English 101 students, and welcome to week 4 in our summer class. And what a week it's been. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. Of course, week 4 is a little bit different from the standpoint that it is a condensed week. And there's a whole lot on the agenda, as you might imagine, with our week only being, our term only being 8 weeks. So what I wanted to do with this video, no live class this week, but I do want to make this video to introduce you to some new content that you're going to find in the week 4 area. So as you can see, I'm on our Blackboard page, and I am going to go ahead and click in course content. And you can see that the week 4 folder just opened up yesterday, Tuesday, July 6th. And so I'm going to go ahead and click in. And as always, you want to start from top to bottom in the course folder and the weekly folder. So let's start with the course worksheet. Now, the course worksheet is available to you as both a Word document and a PDF. I'm just going to go ahead and click on it as a PDF. And you can see there's an awful lot of new reading this week. First of all, you have a new article, which is very exciting. I love this article. I've been had the privilege of teaching it for a little while now, and I don't ever get tired of it because I find that students really tend to gravitate toward it. And that's Stanley Milgram's The Perils of Obedience. Now, I'm going to show you this in just a moment, but the article is in the it's in the week 4 folder. It is as a PDF, and you are going to start on the 3rd page of the packet. Now, the packet does have page numbers from the original text, and that's going to be 167. And you're going to read from page 3 to 11 in the PDF, but that's actually pages 167 to 182 from the original text. I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. I've also placed some notes related to Stanley Milgram, some notes related to critique writing, the draft plan and essay assignment sheet, and a rewrite policy. Also of note is the ABC News 2020 update to the Milgram experiment. I'll pull that up. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Now, you do have a discussion board assignment this week related to Milgram and the draft plan of the critique essay. And as I mentioned, this is all in a very short period of time. So I know you're going to start feeling the crunch of the summer pacing. So please hang in there. Remember to email me if you get stuck or you have any questions, but I fully anticipate that you're going to feel a little bit of the crunch. So I'm going to go back to the week 4 folder. We just looked at the course worksheet. Here are the week 4 readings and resources. And I know it looks like a lot, but you will find the Milgram notes in the packet. I'm going to go ahead and open up the packet, which is available as a PDF. And as I mentioned, you're going to scroll down. Now, I've provided the title page for copyright purposes. This article comes from a textbook called Reading and Writing Across the Curriculum, but the article doesn't actually start till the 3rd page of the packet. And it actually begins right here on the very bottom. And I want to highlight to you as well, the page numbers are listed right at the bottom. That's where you'll see that 167. But the opening section is just biographical information about Milgram. The fact that he was a Yale psychologist, and he began his study with the Milgram, what we now recognize today as the Milgram experiments, in 1963. The biographical information ends here. Now, each paragraph of the article is numbered. So beginning on the bottom of 168, you'll see the first paragraph. And again, and I apologize, the photocopying was a little slanted, but I think you'll be able to read it just fine. But it does go, the article continues down to the top of page 182. Now, stop when you reach the review questions. You don't have to complete any review questions or anything like that. But what you're going to find in the article, and I'll be excited to explore this on the discussion board this week, is that Milgram had a very designed purpose for the experiment. The premise of it, that essentially The experiment is one person in the experiment who is the teacher is told that it's about learning word pairs, but that's not really what the experiment's about. And it's all in a conjunction with the idea of obedience to authority. And Milgram was interested in this, tracing back to the rise of Nazism during World War II. So there's a whole lot of historical background here. So read the article carefully. I recommend you take notes as you read it, and I think you'll find that helpful. Speaking of notes, I want to pull up my notes for just a moment. And you should be seeing them there on the screen. Milgram was born in 1933, died in 1984. Highly educated guy. He received his PhD in social psychology from Harvard. As you'll note in the article, he went on to teach at Yale University. He's most widely known for the shock experiments, but he was also interested in what's called 6 degrees of separation, which just means that any one person is only separated from another person, even a celebrity, for example, by 6 other people or fewer. Questions. Now, these questions, you don't have to submit them, but I do recommend you try to answer them for your own understanding of the article, thinking about Milgram's role in the experiment. I can help you out a little bit with that because it's not explicitly stated. Milgram was more of the scientist, conductor, oftentimes, of the experiment. He didn't play that role all the time, but sometimes he had to play double duty in being the conductor and also taking notes to see the teacher's reaction. So what's the teacher's role? What's the learner's role? Who was in on the experiment? You need to really focus in on understanding what's really going on, not just what the teacher thinks is happening. There's a reference in the article to a person named Adolf Eichmann, who was a World War II historical figure. So take some time to see if you can figure that one out as well. And finally, you're going to read about some different persons who played the role of teacher: Fred Prosy, Morris Braverman, Bruto Botta. See what you can find out about those 3 individuals. The obedience rate in the experiment. Now, that's the obedience rate overall once the experiment was moved out of Yale University. That's going to be a tricky thing to find, but it is in the article. And what is Milgram's thesis? Now, try to put that in your own words overall, and we'll kind of go from there. But again, those are the notes. There's a lot of information about critique writing here as well. And I just want to pull up one of the PDFs here about how to write a critique. Critique writing basically entails allowing your opinion to shine forward with respect to the piece you're critiquing. So, for example, you have summary in a critique. That is, you have to show the reader your overall understanding of the key points, just like you did in essay 1. But you're going a step further in writing out your critique. That is, whether you agree or disagree with the assessment given in the work you're looking at. In this case, it's going to be Milgram's The Perils of Obedience. This other PDF, I like it a little bit better because it shows you how to write a critique, the steps that you do to get prepared, and then when you're actually drafting, the introduction, providing a summary, and then the review and evaluation of the piece as well. I have to take a coffee sip there before my coffee gets cold. And then also conclusion. So look at that. I think you'll find it helpful. I'm even thinking that we could potentially have a live session next week. I might just make a more detailed instructional video on the critique itself. Let me know what you think if you have a preference, and we can play it off from there. Let's take a look at the assignment sheet for essay 2. And I know you're probably saying, wow, already? But no secret that you are writing a critique of Milgram's The Perils of Obedience. Now, the essay is to be 3 pages long. You are to follow classroom writing guidelines and format. Create a strong thesis for your point of view. Now, whereas in essay 1, your thesis was Klein's thesis, with this one, your thesis is going to be your point of view related to how you feel about the validity of Milgram and his work. Draft plan is going to be due first before the essay. You've had some experience working through the first draft plan. So the draft plan is due this Sunday, but now the essay itself is not going to be due till next week. Now we'll talk a little bit more next week about peer review process and how that's going to look. But final draft is due July 18th, so please make note of that. Draft plan, I'm going to pull that up. You've probably getting the hang of this by now. You're going to type your responses into the actual draft plan. You could take this line off if you want. I decided to put that on there just to make it highlight. And for Milgram's main argument, you can surmise that in probably a sentence or so. So feel free to share that as you see it. First block, just like with the Klein draft plan, is about the biographical information. The second one is the one that you really have to work hard to detail. That's the key points. So I am looking for adequate development in that particular block. And then the final block is about who is Milgram's audience and how does he show awareness of audience? And does he give information for what we call a counter argument? Counter argument, we're going to do some more work with as we go through the summer, but that's just basically where the author takes time to address any opposition to his or her viewpoint. And I'll be interested to see what you come up with. But type your responses in the draft plan and you're going to submit that this week. And I don't want to save it. I just put Jane Smith in there as an example. Rewrite policy for English 101. Now, I am still in review of your first essay. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to have those reviewed by Thursday, July 8th, but I do appreciate your continued patience. Just like you, I'm coming off the holiday weekend, which has put me a little bit behind the 8 ball. So I'm kind of trying to work to get caught up. But what you basically have the opportunity to do, and you can look at this policy a little more carefully, is you have one rewrite that you can choose to use on either essay 1 or 2. As soon as you get your feedback, review your grade and let me know via email. It does need to be put in writing if you plan to use your rewrite opportunity. From there, I'm going to give you 1 week to complete a revision of the essay if you choose to use it. Now, this is strictly optional. You don't have to use your rewrite opportunity if you don't want to, but if you get a score you're not especially pleased with, you do have the chance to use your rewrite. The rewrite cannot be used for essay 3, and it is timely. You can't just hold that in your pocket till you get your essay 2 score. If I don't hear from you within designated time, say within the week of getting your feedback for essay 1, I'm going to put you on hold to have that opportunity at that point for essay 2. So do let me know as soon as possible. I know this is a lot of information, but take your time and go through the week 4 readings and resources. There's also a video, and actually I'm going to refrain from clicking on it, but don't watch this Milgram video until you've read the article because it presents a 2007 update to the Milgram experiment. You're going to find in the update, for example, such information to the update as increased use of women in the study and different ethnicities and races. So it's all pretty interesting. Now, I realize I didn't add the draft plan submission form, so I'll be adding that in, and I apologize for that. But the discussion assignment relates to sort of looking at the video in conjunction with the article. Did you find the experiment results surprising in each version of the study? Do you think that the results were more a product of its time, the 60s, or do you see it as relevant today? And you might want to keep in mind that 2007 ABC video update in answering that. And what are your thoughts on the video, the ABC video special? Anything surprise you from either the article or the video, especially with obedience rates? You can talk about that. So you do need an initial posting and a reply to your classmate by Sunday, July 11th. So I know that's a lot, and I'm going to add again I don't know why I forgot to add it in, but I'll add a submission form for the draft plan. I'm surprised I haven't received an email yet about that. So I'll add that in today, and that'll be a new area you'll see added just below the discussion board. All right, I'm going to stop share. Listen, if need be next week, we can you can let me know if you think you could use a live session, or I can make another instructional video that can focus a little bit more on maybe workshopping for critique writing. But I hope you found this video helpful. If you need anything at all, just email me. And I appreciate your hard work. I know it's a stressful, busy week. So if I can be of assistance to you, just reach out. So take care, and thank you all. Have a great week.